Welcome to the Big View, Ending Poverty in Your Community. My name is Yvette Trujillo, and I am the Chief Integrity Officer at Circles USA. And as always, I'm joined by the wonderful Kamatara Johnson, who is our Executive Director. Hey, Kamatara.
Hi, Yvette.
So we are with Circles USA, and at Circles, our mission is building community to end poverty through intentional friendships, personal transformation, and systemic change, led by the people closest to the challenge. And our vision for the future that we want to be living into is all individuals live in equitable and thriving communities where poverty no longer exists.
Ooh, that gets me every time. Thank you for stating that. I just want to keep just stay
Right?
anchored in that. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Let's say it over and over and over again, which we get to. And this podcast is all about getting a better understanding, a higher level understanding of the experience of poverty. So we take that 30,000 foot level view of poverty and we break it down into these bite-sized chunks to help you understand what's actually happening for folks. What are they living through and how you can make a real difference right where you are, right in your community. So what we've learned is that there are stages to prosperity. And we've been doing this work for 25 years at Circles USA in the anti-poverty arena. And this pattern has emerged over and over again. And we've put them into this package of 5 stages to prosperity. And so in that process, of moving from surviving to thriving, there are 5 key stages. And so the first is crisis intervention, stabilization, readiness, placement, and the final stage is advancement, which is what we're going to be diving into today.
Oh, we have come so far, Yvette. And last week we were talking about placement and really having a place that I have chosen, that is conscious, that I'm in, and this is great. And then during advancement, how do I deepen that now? Like, yes, this is where I want to be. I have found it. This is the thing. There's still a little bit more to be done. So this is where during the advancement stage, I'm finally getting to financial stability and wellness, where it's not this ongoing pressing concern. Like, no, I've made it. My spending plan is looking great. I have emergency funds. Like, financially, I am solid. That's a fantastic place. I mean, that's one piece of the puzzle here, but that's a big piece of the puzzle. But beyond that, in this advancement stage, I've also advanced my confidence in myself and who I am, and that I have something valuable to offer, and in how I interact with work and my family members and community members, and how am I interacting in the world? I have confidence and a sense of purpose, and I hope that deep sense of meaning and belonging, because I'm contributing to my community, that I'm continuing to engage in my personal and professional growth. But I've also, at this point, I've built resilience against future crises, because life happens. Like, you never know what's gonna happen. There could be that accident, someone could pass away, a factory closes, like, stuff happens. But now, because I have financial, emotional, personal, physical stability, wellness, all of that, it's okay. Something could happen and I am still okay, which means I have officially left poverty behind permanently. And that's an amazing statement to say. I have left poverty behind permanently. Wow, what a journey.
And how many of us, we may not have experienced financial poverty, right? But if you have been living this life and not feeling like you belonged anywhere,
Mhm.
into a stage of life where you belong. I mean, how many of us that have never experienced poverty before are looking for meaning and
Yeah.
belonging? I mean, that's certainly something that I talk about in my personal life a lot. And so like this journey is really, when we get to this point, this is where we're thriving. This is where
Yes.
like life is good and challenges can come. And it's
Yeah.
not always perfect, and you're not,
Right.
it's not always rainbows and butterflies, right?
Yeah.
That's not what thriving is. But when those challenges arise, when those hard times come,
Hmm.
you have what you need, and you have a sense of knowing that you have what you need to move through those challenging times that will come. It's just a matter
Hmm.
of fact of life. They're not, it's not horrible. You just, how do you live through that? How do you get to the other side of that? And that is thriving. That is truly being able to engage with life and to
Hmm.
put yourself fully to life. And I think of getting from crisis intervention,
Hmm.
where you're just trying to live, to survive, to get to the next day, to get to the next week, like next year, next month is kind of outside of you, to a point where like you're thriving, that
Hmm.
all of these stages building upon each other truly do, like that begins to expand its reach into more and more of our society, of our culture, of all people. That just because you have money to do things doesn't mean that you're thriving.
Right. Or satisfied or happy. And in during this advancement stage, beyond the initial placement, we do want to ask how am I continuing to grow? How am I continuing to contribute? Because there's an elevated level of growth and improvement and achievement and connection that's happening. So it's really exciting, whether it's in the workplace or in the community, to have this new experience. And I think we've been using the whole treading water analogy. And I think in crisis, yes, we're treading water, just dog paddling, trying to keep our head above water. And then in, you know, stabilization, we're just trying to like get some floaties, like some water wings, like, oh my God, help me stay afloat better. So then by the end of stabilization, okay, we've got a boat. And then, during readiness, like, well, what do we need on this boat? We need 2 oars and we need to go in this direction. And then in, placement, okay, now we're using this boat to go do something, like, okay, we're fishing and we're really getting out there and serving a purpose. And now, we can maybe get a little bit bigger boat and we could get a motor on it and we might be able to teach other people how to fish. And then we might have like a whole fishing culture. Like, you can just see it, the expansive ripples, like it's exponential at this point. It's deep, it's wide, it's reaching. And it's like, I also think of when there's a really strong old tree that has the roots that go way down, even beyond what you can see, and then it reaches way up, and then it becomes a habitat for all different, animals and plants and all different things, and shade for humans and whatever. It's like that interweaving building. That is like the heart of building community to end poverty. Is like, now we have really strong people and really strong community because we have done this together, and look how far we have come. And when we want to have a society that works for all people, that's fully inclusive, how do we do that? How do we get there so everyone is thriving? And like, wow, we've done this together. So there's just such staying power. And I think of, let's say, the multi-generational impact of this, because now I've spent, let's say, more time with my community and more time with my children, and maybe I can spend time with my grandbabies, or I can spend time with my neighbors, and then like there's that ripple where everyone is benefiting from this, and then I continue to advance my, let's say, my opportunities. I might take on higher responsibilities, or I might get a promotion, or I'm honing my skills So I'm still having that substantial impact, doing something really positive, and it's like it just keeps building and building and building to be this beautiful, almost like inheritance for the community and the next generation in that community, which is so beautiful. That's what we want to pass on to our babies. That would be amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm hearing in this stage, like, as we move through the stages, that we can see further and further and further. But that what happens here is that, like, I want, like, I get to have a say, and I want to be satisfied with my life. I want to have
Mhm.
a sense of satisfaction with my life. And so it's no longer about getting what I need and meeting my needs. Your needs are met. What is satisfying for you? What is joyful for you? And we can stretch beyond the requirements into, like, peaceful satisfaction,
Mm,
and that ultimate, the self-actualization. Like, who am
yes.
I? How do I contribute? What difference am I making? And how do I play a part in this new ecosystem that I belong to,
Yeah.
that I am an active part of and contributing member of?
So we have to ask the community question here. We always think, well, like, what if I were a community member, what do I need to ask at this stage? Which is, okay, are there, let's say, employment opportunities that do have a line of sight for advancement or growth or development, or is this a dead end? Or are there, beautiful civic engagements and faith-based organizations, or like, the Girl Scouts, the 4-H, the beautiful things that we have in our communities that are just so, like, you know, vibrant and exciting. Like, do we have those going in our community, and are they accessible to people? Like, how do new people get in? Like, in this newfound time that I have in my job as executive director, and now that I'm almost an empty nester, and I don't have to work extra jobs or extra gigs, I reconnected with music, and I could get into the New Mexico Symphonic Chorus because I could see the entry ramp. I could see when auditions were. I could get myself there. So, like, for communities, could we evaluate what opportunities do we have in our community for personal and professional advancement? Are there continuing education classes that are just beautiful? Like the University of New Mexico has amazing continuing ed classes for just the general public about all different topics. They're amazing. What volunteer opportunities are there? Albuquerque has a beautiful app called the One app that connects everyone together. It's almost like a volunteer dating service. It's beautiful. And we get connected, and we get to do gorgeous things. Or like, what what is training up the next generation of leaders in workplaces, and then thinking, how do I pay it forward? How do I contribute back around into this community that has sustained me and supported me on my journey from surviving to thriving? That is so gnarly, and here we did it together. So now how can I pay it forward or leave this place better than I found it? And isn't that the heart of prosperity? That we are interdependent in beautiful and rich ways, that we contribute to each other's lives. It's so much more than just money. It's like, yes, there's financial stability, of course. And there's, the food, the shelter, the clothing, the jobs, the childcare, of course, yes. And the prosperity of life, the richness in the heart and the mind and the connections, and then the impact for future generations. It's that holistic approach. And why we keep coming back to community, and we keep coming back to compassion, to just have compassion for folks where this is a new experience, to believe in a community, to believe in people, that people could be good and that we could do good things together, and that I am safe and I have something to offer. And yes, here's the whole package. Well, now in advancement, we're just doing it. Like, we're in it, it's humming, it's beautiful, and life is really satisfying. That to me is prosperity.
And I keep having the image, Kamatara, that beautiful ecosystem of the tree that you talked about. Like, that just, like, when we do this work together, the work serves everyone that's
Mhm.
involved. It's not that we are just serving people that are experiencing poverty. Yeah, we are. But in so doing, we are all served because now we have a more vibrant, diverse ecosystem, that beautiful, thriving life of this tree that the image that you built, I'm like, got birds flying around. It's fantastic. I hear lots of sound. But it's just like this recognition that when we do this kind of work in our community and we do it together, we are creating a thriving, beautiful, rich, prosperous community to live in that we very intimately belong to.
Yes. And we intentionally co-created it together. So there is a seat for everyone at the table. Everyone has the right to thrive, deserves to have that deep sense of meaning and belonging, deserves to reach their dreams and to feel valued and seen and heard and contributing, and that mutual reciprocity that goes on. Like, everyone deserves to have that. And that is the mission and vision of Circles USA. In fact, will you say the vision one more time?
I will. So the vision is that all individuals live in equitable, thriving communities where poverty no longer exists.
Oh, and there it is.
There it is.
Mm.
There. Oh my goodness. Well, this has been a wonderful journey to have taken with you, Kamatara, and with all of you that have joined us. We hope, we hope beyond hope that this has been um, information that inspires you
Mhm.
to move into community and to make the difference that only you can make. So thanks again for joining us. Thank you so much, Kamatara, for your passion, for how brilliant you are in this arena. I've enjoyed it immensely.
Thank you as well, Yvette. You're so insightful and a wonderful partner and an excellent host. So to all of you out there who are in community, remember we are always building community to end poverty. Thank you so much for all that you do.